Donald Trump has issued an ominous warning to former President Joe Biden after his pardoning spree went viral. In his first sit-down interview with the media, Donald Trump was bemused at the number of pardons Joe Biden handed out to everyone but himself.
But this guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
This commentator agreed, saying, boom, President Trump points out that Joe Biden made a huge mistake. Joe gave pardons to everyone else, but not himself. There are plenty of crimes that can be brought to light that predate Joe's presidency. Justice is coming. And online commentators also reacted to Biden's oversight with some interesting theories. This person said, did Biden not give himself a pardon because he's not fit for trial? Is that their logic behind him not pardoning himself? This person agreed, saying, maybe Joe didn't think this pardon business through all the way. Sky News contributor Josh Hammer also slammed the optics of the pardons, saying it was shameful.
Now, in his last act as president, Joe Biden issued sweeping preemptive pardons for his entire family, as well as former COVID advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the January 6th committee to, quote, shield them from politically motivated prosecutions under the Trump administration. Josh, look, I don't know. I think this was unsurprising. He was always going to do it. But what do you make of this at the 11th hour to go and issue these pardons?
It's just truly shameful stuff. You know, Joe Biden told us time and time again that the reason that you had to vote for Joe Biden and then after the Democrats pulled their bloodless coup, that you had to vote for Kamala Harris, he said time and time again, you got to vote for Team Blue. You got to vote for the Democrats because the other guy, Donald Trump, he's a Hitler, fascist, Nazi there who's going to blow up the Constitution. He hates norms. How many times over the past 4 years have we been lectured time and time again about how the January 6th guy is a great perpetrator when it comes to desecrating American norms there? And then you fast forward to the past few months here, especially since the election in November. How many norms is Joe Biden going to blow up in flames on his way out the door here? I mean, it's basically like he's taken a match. He's taken an entire reservoir of gasoline and just poured an entire box of matches on fire into this gasoline on the way out there. Literally on Friday, he tweeted that he was recognizing a new constitutional amendment. The National Archives here was like, dude, you can't do that. That's not how the constitutional process works. These pardons at the last hour, potentially pardoning the Biden family, his brother Jim Biden, 5 or 6 family members there, 15 minutes before Donald Trump was to put his hand on the Bible and take the oath of office. I can't believe this. I mean, it makes America look so patently silly, so patently tribal, and frankly, so patently third world. I cannot wait for this guy to get out of office, to get the heck off my television screen. Frankly, I think it's going to be a very long time until we hear from him again. It actually wouldn't shock me, frankly, if we don't hear from him again until his funeral.
Look, I think we've all been thinking the same. Let's be realistic. And I agree, it was completely dodgy, totally dodgy of him 15 minutes before that inauguration. Now, look,
and it seems it wasn't only commentators that are asking questions about Biden's pardons. Speaker Mike Johnson announced that Congress will be investigating.
Mr. Speaker, to potentially have any type of congressional action on the pardons that President Biden issued in the last couple days?
It was shocking. I mean, it was shocking what President Biden did on the way out, pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape. 4 years ago, when it was just implied that President Trump might do something similar, they were apoplectic. Joe Biden himself, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer. Roll the tape. They all said that would be crazy and unconscionable, and now they're cheering it along. To us, it is disgusting. To us, it probably proves the point, the suspicion that, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well. So, yeah.
Congressman Eric Burlinson agrees, saying he will be looking into legislation that would eliminate the pensions of those pardoned by former President Biden, such as Dr. Fauci.
I think it's pretty awful, it's pretty shameful. And look, if you're innocent, there's no reason for a pardon, right? If there's no crime committed, then there's no need to have a pardon. And I think that this puts a really ugly stain on the Biden administration, but it also puts a very ugly stain on Fauci, on Liz Cheney, and everyone that got a pardon, because at the end of the day, you had to get the pardon for a reason. If there's nothing that you did wrong, then there's no reason that you should want a pardon.
And should there be any congressional probes into this?
Absolutely. I know that one of the things that I think is disgusting is that these people are all receiving federal pensions. So you have people that are basically admittedly have done something wrong to the level of it being a felony, and yet they're still collecting a pension on the taxpayer's dime. And I'm going to take a look at that and see if we can't eliminate their pensions at the very least. But I also think that we should continue to investigate. Let's get the truth out there so the American people know exactly what Anthony Fauci did, what Elizabeth Cheney did, and trying to manipulate the J6 hearing and committee. I think the American people deserve to have answers to these, and just because they're pardoned doesn't mean that they should get off without having an answer for what they've done.